The glittering lights of the entertainment industry often mask the deep fractures that lie beneath the surface of the lives of its biggest stars. For years, the public has been utterly captivated by the seemingly unbreakable bond between country music powerhouse Jelly Roll and his equally magnetic wife, Bunnie Xo. Together, they represented a modern fairy tale of redemption, resilience, and raw honesty, rising from the shadows of difficult pasts to conquer the global stage. Their love story was not just a narrative for the cameras. It was a beacon of hope for millions of fans who saw in them the ultimate example of two souls overcoming adversity together. Yet, behind the glamorous red carpet appearances, the sold-out stadium tours, and the fiercely loyal social media presence, a quiet storm was gathering. The world of celebrity is notoriously volatile, where the lines between public perception and private reality frequently blur until they snap. When news begins to trickle out that something is amiss in paradise, it sends shockwaves through the community, forcing onlookers to look closer at the subtle hints and cryptic messages that usually precede a monumental shift. In the age of digital media, a single post, a fleeting video, or a carefully chosen song lyric can speak volumes, hinting at a crumbling foundation before the official announcements ever hit the press. To understand the gravity of what is unfolding, one must dive deep into the intricate layers of their history, examining how two people who built an empire on transparency could find themselves standing at a devastating crossroads. If you want to stay updated on the most compelling stories from the world of entertainment and witness how these complex human dramas unfold in real time, make sure to subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications so you never miss a single chapter of these breaking developments. The narrative of high-profile relationships is rarely simple, and as the curtain begins to pull back on this latest Hollywood shakeup, the clues left behind tell a fascinating story of tension, emotion, and shifting tides. It all started with a series of seemingly isolated incidents on social media, where the digital footprints of the couple began to diverge in ways that sharp-eyed observers could not ignore. For a long time, their online presence was a testament to unity, filled with affectionate tributes, behind-the-scenes glimpses of their shared life, and mutual support for each other's professional endeavors. But recently, a subtle shift in tone became noticeable as the warmth of their collective brand gave way to a cooler, more solitary focus. This transition was not immediate, but rather a slow, deliberate accumulation of moments that suggested an underlying distance was growing between them. In the fast-paced world of celebrity culture, fans have developed an extraordinary ability to read between the lines, dissecting every frame of a video and every syllable of a caption for hidden meaning. This collective intuition proved remarkably accurate as a peculiar sequence of events began to materialize on their respective platforms, setting the stage for a public reckoning that few saw coming. The atmosphere grew increasingly tense as the days ticked by, with each new post adding fuel to the growing speculation that the unbreakable bond had finally met its match. It is within this charged atmosphere that a specific, highly provocative video was shared with the world, acting as the catalyst for a wave of intense scrutiny. The video in question did not feature an explicit declaration or a formal statement, but its underlying message was unmistakable to anyone paying close attention to the unfolding drama. Filmed against the backdrop of a seemingly ordinary suburban setting, the imagery conveyed a sharp, biting sentiment that contrasted sharply with the supportive persona the public had come to expect. It was a moment captured on camera that felt both deeply personal and intensely performative, a calculated glimpse into a mindset that was rapidly shifting away from reconciliation and towards something much more defiant. As the camera tracked the movement across the driveway, bypassing the ordinary elements of the surroundings to focus on a highly symbolic visual metaphor, the tension became palpable. The choice of music accompanying the footage only heightened the dramatic effect, providing a rhythmic, intense backdrop that underscored the unspoken words hovering over the entire scene. This was not just a casual update for followers. It was a deliberate manifestation of a changing reality, a signal that the past was being reevaluated in the harsh light of the present. The public reaction was instantaneous, with thousands of viewers dissecting the short clip, debating its intent, and searching for the deeper context behind the sudden burst of fierce independence. This viral moment did not exist in a vacuum, as it was surrounded by a broader pattern of behavior that pointed toward a significant disruption in their shared life. For weeks leading up to this point, the usual signs of a unified front had been conspicuously absent, replaced by a quiet, almost clinical separation of their public identities. The country music star, known for his emotional vulnerability and powerful storytelling, had been focusing heavily on his music and wellness, appearing increasingly on his own terms rather than as part of the celebrated duo. Meanwhile, the popular podcast host was carving out her own space, leaning into themes of personal empowerment and reclaiming one's individual identity after a period of intense challenge. This parallel but separate evolution hinted at a deeper narrative, one where two individuals were preparing themselves for a new chapter, even if the world was not yet ready to accept the end of their collective journey. The unfolding situation serves as a stark reminder of the immense pressure placed upon relationships that exist entirely within the public eye, where every personal struggle is amplified 1,000 times over. It takes an incredible toll on the human spirit to navigate heartbreak while millions of spectators weigh in with their opinions, theories, and judgments. As the narrative progresses, the clues become less cryptic and far more definitive, leading up to a sequence of events that would change everything. The silence from their official representatives only added to the mystery, creating a vacuum that was quickly filled by intense speculation and a desire for answers. What drove this iconic couple to this point, and what secrets are yet to be revealed as the full extent of their separation comes to light? The stage is set for a deeper exploration of the events that transpired during those critical days, a timeline of heartbreak and defiance that would ultimately lead to a quiet courthouse in Tennessee. As we prepare to delve into the heart of the matter, the lingering questions remain, painting a picture of a love story that burned incredibly bright, only to face its most challenging and destructive trial yet. The illusion of a perfect celebrity union completely shattered into pieces when the legal reality of the situation finally caught up with the digital rumors that had been swirling across the internet. On May 16th, exactly 1 week after what court documents would later reveal as their official date of separation, Elisa Carter, known globally to millions of devoted followers as Bunnie Xo, decided to take matters into her own hands by posting a highly direct video on her social media. Walking out of her garage and down her concrete driveway, she wore a striking black tube top paired with matching flared spandex pants, showcasing a deliberate look of confidence and unbothered defiance. As she moved smoothly through the frame, the camera zoomed directly past her to capture a clear, unobstructed shot of two large blue trash cans sitting near the edge of the property. Superimposed over this imagery were the words stating that she absolutely hates when her exes ruin a good shot, a savage phrase that left very little to the imagination of those tracking her personal life. To add an extra layer of intensity to the scene, the short clip was set to the loud, heavy beat of Star Monster's modern track titled Come Together Flip. If that was not enough to send a clear message to the world, she capped off the entire social media post with a single, highly descriptive trash emoji, effectively setting the internet ablaze with speculation and drawing a definitive line in the sand. This bold video was not just a random moment of internet humor, but rather a calculated opening salvo in what was rapidly turning into a highly publicized marital breakdown. The real gravity of the situation became undeniably clear just 2 days later when her husband, Jason DeFord, known to music fans everywhere as the chart-topping artist Jelly Roll, quietly walked into a courthouse in Williamson County, Tennessee, to file for divorce. After 10 years of marriage, a decade defined by shared struggles, massive professional triumphs, and a public commitment to standing by each other through thick and thin, the Grammy-nominated artist officially cited irreconcilable differences as the formal reason for ending their relationship. According to the detailed court documents obtained by journalists, the separation was not a sudden, impulsive decision, but the result of a growing divide that had finally reached a point of no return. The paperwork indicated that the two parties were already in the process of drafting a comprehensive legal agreement to divide their massive collection of shared assets and outstanding debts, suggesting that behind the scenes, the business of untangling their lives was moving forward with cold, clinical precision. The speed and definitive nature of the legal filing stunned a fan base that had viewed them as an inspiration, proving that even the most passionate love stories can dissolve under the weight of private pressures. The physical reality of the split manifested almost immediately on the streets of Tennessee, where neighbors and onlookers noticed large moving trucks parked directly outside the couple's primary residence on Monday morning. Workers were seen loading furniture, personal belongings, and boxes into the vehicles, providing a stark, undeniable visual confirmation that the home they had built together was being emptied out. This rapid physical dismantling of their shared life mirrored the fast pace of the legal proceedings, leaving no doubt that both individuals were moving quickly to establish their new independent existences. For those who had been watching closely, however, the signs of this massive marital earthquake had been appearing in plain sight for days before the official headlines ever broke across major news outlets. The couple had been subtly dropping a trail of digital breadcrumbs, signaling to their audiences that the foundation of their relationship was fracturing long before the lawyers were formally involved. Just 2 days after the secret divorce filing took place in Tennessee, Bunnie returned to her platforms to share a cryptic video focused entirely on the concept of women's intuition. In this particular footage, she was seen looking around her environment with a deep sense of suspicion and unease, perfectly capturing the feeling of discovering that something hidden was finally coming to light. Atop the video, she wrote a pointed caption about how women's intuition reacts when things simply do not add up, before sitting up straight and clearly mouthing a highly aggressive profanity directly into the camera lens. This raw display of anger and betrayal added a whole new layer of tension to the unfolding drama, suggesting that the split may not have been as entirely mutual or amicable as the initial court filings attempted to portray. The narrative continued to grow more complex as she followed up that intense video with an entirely different kind of public statement, sharing a highly provocative, racy image of herself wearing bright pink lingerie. Along with the striking photograph, she explicitly stated that she was focused on getting her sparkle back, a clear indication that she felt her personal identity and light had been dimmed during the final chapters of her marriage. This rapid shift from anger to reclamation showed a woman determined to control her own narrative and project strength, even while navigating the incredibly painful and messy reality of a public divorce. On the other side of the equation, Jelly Roll was maintaining a very different kind of public profile, attempting to focus heavily on his massive professional commitments while his personal life fell apart in the background. On that same Monday, the artist took to his official social media accounts to promote a new protein powder partnership, speaking directly to his millions of fans about health, fitness, and his ongoing wellness journey. But the internet is filled with incredibly eagle-eyed followers who notice even the smallest structural alterations, and it did not take long for fans to spot a massive detail in the new video footage. The singer's traditional wedding ring was completely missing from his finger, a bare hand that spoke louder than any official press release his publicists could have ever drafted. Seeing the powerhouse artist without the symbol of his marriage was a jarring moment for the community, serving as the ultimate proof that the decade-long chapter of his life with Bunnie was officially coming to a close. The absence of that ring symbolized more than just a legal separation. It marked the end of an era for two people whose identities had become completely intertwined in the eyes of the global public. As the media scramble intensified, the public could not help but look back at the history of this unique couple, remembering how their journey had started in the neon glow of Las Vegas back in 2016, where they first tied the knot in a fast, impulsive ceremony that set the stage for a wild ride. Their relationship had never been traditional, and it had certainly never been easy, characterized from the very beginning by extreme highs and devastating lows that would have broken lesser couples. The sudden appearance of movers, the missing wedding rings, and the fierce social media callouts all pointed to a situation that was rapidly escalating, leaving fans desperate to understand how a love that seemed so resilient could collapse so quickly. The tension between them was now on full display for the entire world to analyze, turning their private heartbreak into a highly public spectacle where every move was parsed for deeper meaning. The unfolding drama highlighted the fragile nature of relationships built in the spotlight, where the pressure to maintain a certain image can often exacerbate the very real human pain existing behind closed doors. With assets being divided, houses being packed up, and public shots being fired from both sides, the stage was set for a massive transition in both of their lives, a period of intense uncertainty that would test their resilience like never before. To truly comprehend the profound weight of this sudden separation, one must look far beyond the recent legal filings and social media callouts, tracing the chaotic and emotional journey that defined their decade together. This was a partnership born out of shared survival, as both individuals had fought incredibly hard to escape the dark trajectories of their early lives before finding solace in each other's arms. Their initial union in a quick Las Vegas chapel back in 2016 was the beginning of a massive cultural phenomenon, a raw and unfiltered alliance that resonated deeply with working-class audiences around the globe. Yet, this was not the first time their relationship had faced a catastrophic breaking point, as the couple had navigated a brief but devastating separation once before in 2018. During that difficult period, their marriage was severely tested after the country music star engaged in a months-long extramarital affair that threatened to permanently dismantle everything they had built together. The emotional fallout from that betrayal was unimaginably severe, pushing the popular podcast host to the absolute brink of human endurance and despair. In her deeply personal memoir titled Stripped Down, Unfiltered and unapologetic, she opened up with painful honesty about the immense darkness that consumed her during those quiet months of isolation. She confessed that she had actively contemplated suicide after discovering her husband's infidelity, writing that the pain was so incredibly intense that she genuinely just wanted to end it all right then and there. This harrowing revelation cast a long, somber shadow over their public narrative, illustrating that their ultimate reconciliation was not a simple or easy Hollywood fix, but a deeply complex and painful process of healing. Against all odds, they managed to piece their fractured life back together, culminating in a beautiful and highly publicized renewal of their wedding vows in August of 2023. That ceremony was meant to be a definitive statement of redemption, a symbolic proof that their love could survive the ultimate betrayal and emerge even stronger on the other side. But as current events have now shown, the deep-seated fractures from the past may have left permanent wounds that never fully healed beneath the surface. The sudden collapse of their marriage in the courtroom of Williamson County, Tennessee, serves as a tragic reminder that even the most hard-fought victories over personal trauma can eventually succumb to new pressures and irreconcilable differences. For Jelly Roll, whose entire musical career is built upon themes of sin, regret, and the constant struggle for salvation, this divorce marks another deeply painful chapter in a life already marked by immense hardship. His fans are left wondering how this profound personal loss will impact his artistry, as his most powerful music has always been a direct reflection of his real-life struggles and emotional vulnerabilities. On the other hand, Bunnie Xo's rapid transition into a public stance of fierce independence and reclamation reveals a woman who is absolutely determined to survive this heartbreak on her own terms. By sharing her raw reactions, embracing her individual identity, and refusing to hide her anger, she is sending a clear message that she will not be defined solely by the men in her past or the demise of her marriage. The sight of moving trucks clearing out their shared Tennessee residence is a final, sobering, visual closure to an era that captivated millions of people who believed in their unbreakable bond. As they both step into an uncertain future, completely independent of the partnership that helped catapult them to global stardom, the world watches with a mixture of sadness and deep respect for their ongoing journeys. Their story remains a powerful, cautioning testament to the immense complexities of human relationships, proving that love, no matter how passionate or publicly celebrated, requires far more than just survival instincts to endure the relentless trials of life. The legacy of their decade together will undoubtedly continue to influence their respective careers, leaving an indelible mark on the country music community and the digital entertainment landscape for years to come. In the grand theater of celebrity culture, where public personas are carefully manufactured and polished for maximum appeal, their willingness to expose their rawest flaws was what made them uniquely beloved. Now, as the final legal documents are processed and the dust begins to settle on their shared estate, that same raw transparency is guiding them through the painful process of saying goodbye. The chapters of their lives are splitting into two entirely separate narratives, each filled with its own unique challenges, professional aspirations, and personal struggles for peace. For the millions of followers who found inspiration in their collective resilience, the end of this modern fairy tale is a difficult reality to accept. Yet it underscores the fundamental truth that even the strongest individuals sometimes hit a wall that cannot be climbed together. As they move forward along their separate paths, the echoes of their shared past will always remain, a reminder of a time when two damaged souls came together to conquer the world, leaving behind a story that was as beautiful as it was undeniably tragic. If you